Oh, hello. A day late, pero in trying to, I guess, accommodate what happened this week, the holiday, or not really holiday, but day that was celebrated. I'm gonna read this. I don't know if it's a poem or if it's just thoughts being spoken out or whatever it is. But I would like to apologize in advance for that noise and the continuous. I am a little bit sick. Hopefully it'll go away soon. But then it might also be what's written here. For those of you that don't like emotional stuff, or well, you might I don't even know what I'm trying to say, pero this is not too emotional, but it's I don't know, it doesn't feel like it is because it just seems like something I'm saying or writing out. So here it goes. This is from the Los Poemas de Judith, which is not just poems, it's a combination of all sorts of things. So let me adjust the camera a little bit because we're a little bit too close and it's cutting off my head. Okay, there we go. So here it goes. It doesn't have a title either. This is weird because it was written on the 14th. Huh. Okay. Here goes. This one letter, two-word phrase. One that people seem to let slip from their lips so nonchalantly. When I say this phrase, I go back to the accidental way I met you, to a conversation we had right before you left en rumbo a Arizona. This phrase takes me back to another more physical accident, I have scars to prove it, that brought us closer together, to a night where we stayed up till 5 in the morning learning about one another, to the moment you left that same day, and I wish I had told you then and there what I felt. I go back to the messages that came with song titles and artist names that reminded you of a certain someone, to the late night conversations on resourceful sites, the sites that allowed me to gaze into those vivid green eyes and steal a glance at your cheeseball smile. I go back to the internal dilemmas that kept me from you for an extended period of time. Back to the letters that reunited us at the state capitol. Your willingness to be a tripod despite our distance, and then the unforeseen series of events. Lying down on the pulpits, you on the cold floor between one pulpit and another, and my hand caressing your bare skin. The unforeseen kiss that came just minutes before. The farewell from that day. I go back to the southeast where we slept outside over banners and awakened under this same sheet with a couple of irritating blemishes from tiny culprits that linger in humidity and heat. If you don't know what I'm talking about, mosquitoes, gross. I go back to a day or two of officers and inmates laughing at the incompetence of the officers and building a closer relationship with the inmates. I go back to the night of our release, the joyful faces of our friends, and the following hours of failed and successful kisses under the moon. In the sodium chloride flavor. If you guys don't know, it's salt flavored, the ocean. Okay. With this phrase, I go back to being able to look up from reading a book and seeing your face scanning the pages of these storytelling sources, and having the same feeling when sitting across the table from you, and we both gaze up from the teclas for just a moment and smile at one another. I go back to our classification of a date, which consists of going to jail together, and of course, court will follow. I go back to walking down the street, holding your hand, whether walking in silence or laughing hysterically, finding humor in what others would consider awkward. In other words, feeling in a state of ease around you. I go back to horking down your prep material for a meal, and your not so frightening reprimands that follow. I go back to doing something with you that I had anticipated for so long, being supported by your hands as you push and pull my body to and from you, the spinning and tangling of ourselves in each other, our bodies close, feeling each other's rhythm, dancing with you. I had yearned for it for so long. Then when I say this phrase, I also go back to the times when I have walked away from you, to board the object that will only increase the distance between us. And I think of how much I dislike how I feel at that moment. The voice inside me that says I should run back to you and forget everything else, and I dislike myself more for not listening to that voice. Then I think about the time when you had to put up with my juvenile whining and you, as you nursed me back to health. Tu manera de ser is what I go back to the most. La manera in which you laugh. The times when you're serious or triste, feliz, or ecstatic. Pienso en todo esto antes de decir esta phrase. Then I say, I love you. Ay. It's always been difficult for me to say eso and really mean it. It's even been difficult to say it to the close friends that I have. Like when I talk to one of my friends on the phone, she just had a kid, and every time she hangs up, right before she hangs up, she says, I love you. She just says love you. And right before I'm about to say it, I say that I think to myself that is the last thing I would want her to hear from me, that I love her too. Because if something were to happen to her, I wouldn't want I would want that to be the last thing I said to her. So even with friends, se me hace muy difícil. I do the same thing when I say it to my mom and my brother and my sister and my dad and close family members. The same thing. I was like, that's the last thing I would want them to hear before I head out or before they head out, because we have this thing donde siempre nos persinamos, well, my family and I, my mom, family, donde nos persinamos right before we leave or go somewhere, y then we say it, and pero yeah, so I guess the whole point of this this video today is, like I heard somebody say in one of their, I agree with it, on a Facebook post que pasó, that V-Day has become a little too materialistic, and I admire the person that wrote this very much. I don't like saying names of people so that people won't go out looking for him or whatever, but she's a very great person, y lo dijo, and I really respect her for that, because I wouldn't have expected her to say that. Okay, if somebody were to give her a flower, I'm sure she would be very excited, but anyway, that's beyond the point. Me gustó eso que dijo, and I feel like it's true, but at the same time I disagree, because I mean, some people that's the only way they can express themselves is through buying flowers, or everybody has a different way of saying what they have to say. For me, it's putting it in writing, making a video about it. I'm sure tears would be involved in both of them. Pero, yeah. So, I think that's all I have to say on this one. And sayonara and farewell to you guys. Happy weekend. Until I journal again. Good day.